Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the ESL studios here for the Major League for Heroes of the Storm once again. We actually find ourselves now in the final day of the group stage, as the league has been quite hectic and crazy. In fact, we get to the point now where we have a very, very close game and a very, very close system between 4th and 6th place. So there is still definitely playoff spots up for grabs. My name is Kyle Aris alongside Todd once again here at the Major League. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing great. This is interesting, that it comes down to the last two matches to decide, I guess, which two other teams will make it to the playoffs. And yeah, before we went live, you were telling me that you know all about the possibilities, so why don't you tell us all once again?
That is true. There is a lot of possibilities basically that can happen here. So through the 4th and 6th places, there's potentially a lot of fluctuation. At the moment, Fnatic, ESC and Well Met sit between 4th and 6th place, and they have an opportunity of being able to advance on to the playoffs, but it's going to be quite close indeed. They all sit around very, very close numbers. 3 wins, 3 losses each. Map wins, it's 8-7 to Fnatic, and then 7-7 and 7-7 to ESC and Well Met respectively. All 3 of those teams are playing today. Which means that we can find out very, very soon how this is going to play out. And actually, very soon, we can get into our bans and picks here between ESC and Gamers2, who are at the moment sat in 2nd place. But if they're able to win this one, they have the potential to go up to 1st place against over LDLC.
Yeah, the draft's going to be interesting after what we saw 2 days ago, with Shen being picked a whole bunch. And I guess a little bit of unusual draft here and there. Like, I remember there was quite a few, picks that kind of surprised me. So I'm looking forward to see what these two teams will pick. I expect, Gamers2 to really deliver here, as they are in the league doing much better than ESC. But you never know, Gamers2, they don't really have too much to gain from that one game. And ESC, they probably really want to try and qualify.
Yeah. Definitely, definitely. So ESC for him, they're pretty much do or die. They're very hungry for it. I've been talking to them all week long about the possibility of them going on forwards. But we'll see if they're going to be able to. They get their first ban and obviously first pick. First map is going to be Garden of Terror, and they're going to go straight for Stitches. Gamers2 have shown great Stitches play throughout the entirety of this. I think against LDLC in the series that was oh so important for potentially first place rivalry. They were able to play a very strong Stitches. So Stitches goes away, but ETC goes away as well, and that makes it very interesting to see what Warriors are going to come out in this game.
Yeah, I guess there's still quite a bit of choice, with like Muradin being in there. I guess TRL could be picked as well, even though TRL you don't really see it picked as one of the main tanks, except when you want to get something to interrupt, something like a Nazi Bolt. We saw Shen being picked 2 days ago, so maybe again we're gonna see that come back. But oh man, they don't waste any time with the picks here.
Yeah,
that went very fast.
And the Illidan pick already reveals from ESC's gaming side the kind of game plan that they're going to mold around it. They have 2 picks now, so they could potentially go for the things that do complement it very well, like the Rehgar, like the Tastar. And over on the other side, Gamers2 decide, well, okay, if you give us 2 picks and we're able to pick up Valor and Hammer, why on earth not? That's huge damage available to them to start things off.
Do you think you could make the tweet? Like you're more used of tweeting about Heroes. Like I'm not even sure I know the exact link and stuff.
About
us going live.
I think I did tweet out a few things. I will do after we're done with this draft here, because right now it's full screen on my thing.
You retweeted the ESL Heroes. Okay, that's
yeah.
I'll just retweet that. Right. Nazibo, being picked here with Shen as well. So I guess it's pretty solid here overall. I'm a little bit surprised that they didn't try to go yet for either Tassadar or Rehgar. But we've seen Illidan do well even without these two.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Like I'm sure they're still thinking about the general comp. TRL is very possible for Gamers2 here again because there is a Nazibo. What are you feeling? Muradin, TRL?
There is that, and potentially even the Diablo as well, with the fact that Warriors are going to be hard to be fought over here. Muradin's cool. I mean, I like Muradin. We haven't really seen him that much in the past couple of games here.
Sonya?
Well, with the lineup that they've got at the moment, it doesn't quite fit the bill. But Uther is an alright choice, obviously, for the healer here. To counteract nothing on the other side for your ESC, but with the Uther pick, they are giving away the idea of them taking Rehgar on the other side to complement that Illidan.
Yeah, going for Uther, with the stun that he has plus the ultimate, it can be really nice at times against Illidan. Like if you catch him out of position, you're gonna take him out instantly. If they were to get Muradin as well, it's that much more stun that I can get. Going for something like Arthas, it's pretty tanky, but in the end, you don't have the crowd control that you need against something like an Illidan. So I think Muradin here could be a very good pick for them if they wanted to go for it.
Definitely, yeah.
In terms of healer, ESC, I'm pretty sure they're going to go for Rhaegar now that Uther's already picked.
Yeah, it looks like the logical choice here on Garden of Terror. But again, with the way the lineup is shaping up here for Gamers2, they've got 3 very, very powerful heroes there with Valor, Hammer dishing out huge amounts of damage between them both, and then Uther for even just the frontline presence as well as the heals that he does give, because usually we see some imposing presence mixed in on him, and he is tanking up a lot of damage at the front once he actually gets there. But it is going to be Sonya. Wow. I wasn't expecting that, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, me neither. But I guess they already feel good enough about their comp that they think that Sonya is going to help with what they're picking. And I guess, to interrupt the Nazeebo ulti, like I said before, I was actually joking, but it can make sense, to go behind, to reach the backline and use that ultimate with the leap and try and interrupt the Nazeebo ult. And who knows, Gargantuan is going to come back here maybe tonight.
Maybe. It was ESC that was running it, right? If I recall correctly. In the past, actually no, I think it was LDLC that was running Gargantuan, in the past game versus ESC. So maybe they've been experimenting with it as well, who knows. But for now, they want to pick up themselves a healer. One can only assume it is going to be Rhaegar here. And then to round things out, with potentially another damage dealer, what could we go? Okay, Tassadar. So they do go for those 2 picks that we assumed would be pick 2 and 3 to complement the Illidan.
Actually, if you look at the composition of ESC, they have invested a lot into their Illidan. They got both Rhaegar and Tassadar, which is nice, but they have a Nazeebo for damage rather than something like a Vala that will do, very consistent damage all the time. That's you can't really interrupt Vala's ulti if he takes Rain of Vengeance. He will do multi-shot build and do a lot of damage. So I feel like they might lack a little bit of damage if Tassadar does on level 13 and 16 does more of a defensive build than offensive. And also for Gamers2, they have a little bit of crowd control if they get even more now. They got 2 assassins, 1 tank, and Uther. They could go, for Muradin so that they have double tank. Yeah, see, they go for Diablo. That's even more crowd control plus interrupt for the Nazeebo. So this is just great picks here, I feel, by Gamers2, and I quite like their draft.
Yeah, that was kind of cool. I really like to see the Diablo actually come out. Again, we were already mentioning that when it comes to going up against that Nazeebo, the Apocalypse is very annoying. And then even still, there's a lot of damage behind the front line that we're seeing here from Gamers2. I mean, with the Diablo, Sonya, and Uther being at the front, protecting the Hammer and Valor, how are they going to be able to deal with it? It's going to be very, very difficult, I think.
Yeah. I really don't know how that Illidan is supposed to reach the backline of Gamers2 and somehow kill them. Even the Vala, if he jumps on the Vala, she can get healed, she can get shielded by Uther, and then you have Hammer, who should be nearby with knockback, Sonya and Diablo. Diablo is gonna be such a pain. With the comp that they have here, ESC, this Diablo I think is gonna drive them crazy. I really feel like Gamers2, if they play a solid game here, where they don't do any really bad moves here and there. They just play a solid game. I really don't feel like they should lose this. It's going to take really some big effort and great play from ESC to be able to take them out.
Yeah, the Gamers2 have looked solid all tournament long, all league long. They have looked really good. They beat LDLC at the very, very top when we had that huge game between LDLC and Gamers2, really to determine almost who was getting first place. At the moment, LDLC sit there, but obviously Gamers2 have this series in hand to then try and push on forwards and get that first place spot. And if they do, in the playoffs, they will go up against number 4, which is potentially Fnatic, ESC, or Well Met, or potentially even SK if Fnatic's able to win 2-0, I think, due to the head-to-head score that would actually come out there. So very, very close stuff. Very, very close stuff at the moment in the tournament.
Yeah, Gamers2 cannot fall behind, though. Against this comp, with Illidan, Tassadar, Rhaegar is one of the sickest combo that you can get. You add almost any tank and any assassin to this, and you have like a beautiful comp that works out very well. Maybe not as well against a lot of CC, but if somehow ESC, pulls ahead, they get an earlier 10, they even get like one talent ahead here and there, and they take a good fight, then it's going to be really hard for Gamers2 to, stay in the game and do well. So they're going to have to be careful with that.
Yeah. That's for sure. We're just waiting now in the lobby here to get into game number 1 between everybody. And I shall also invite you, Todd. Oh, you already got a new cheeky guy. Gamers2 are already all here. We're just waiting on ESC to join up and get good to go. We're just waiting on Snow as well as Lotus to actually join on with the ESC lineup, being kind of rounded out as it has in the past couple of days. And Leo from Korea saying hello to us all. We actually briefly met Leo from Korea. Did you meet him as well in Katowice?
No.
Oh, you didn't catch him?
Nope.
Oh, well. Yes, regardless of him being called from Korea, he is indeed a liar. He is from Poland. So you have to take that into account here when going into this. Obviously, it's very, very important.
It's going to be interesting when Heroes get bigger and this guy plays against Koreans and they see his nickname. They're going to be a little bit confused.
Yeah. Potentially. Are you from North or South Korea? What an interesting question that is being posed in the chat. All right, so we're still waiting to actually get everybody into this game, and we should be good to go very, very soon. The way these lineups shape up here, Todd, are you giving favor to anybody? Right now, I'm leaning to Gamers2 with how crafted it is against ESC.
Yeah, I think me too, but you should never overlook Illidan composition. Like, it has so much potential, especially, in terms of, again, getting an early on lead and then completely snowballing out of control. If Gamers2 start falling behind, winning against an Illidan comp is just so damn difficult. So they're going to have to be very careful. They're going to have to stay on points. They're going to be needing to stay very well synchronized with the seeds every time that they spawn, Never get caught out of position because then you die. And yeah, just in 5 vs 5, I would give them an edge.
Yeah. There's actually been a lot of moments during the Major League where we've seen Gamers2 snowball really, really hard on this map, using the Garden Terror to then go and claim even more seeds, pushing their opposing teams away from those locations. So even if they trade off that Garden Terror, at least they've collected enough seeds to get another one and denied one from their opposing team as well. So it's a really powerful strategy. Obviously, it's almost commonplace in meta when you're actually going up to those higher levels of play, but Gamers2 controls this map very, very well. And I mean, they've controlled the entire tournament for a long time very well. The only maps LDLC has lost in the tournament is to Gamers2, as they've been on an absolute stomp as of late. So ESC really needs this win. They needed 2-0 pretty much here to guarantee themselves or get themselves in a really good spot for those playoffs. But they go up against pretty much the toughest team in the league today.
Diablo will play Apocalypse, guaranteed, right?
Yes.
I feel like there is no way he's going to play with Fire Breath here.
No,
unless he goes for it and he says, well, Sonya, you have one job this game. It's to leap on the Zebo when he uses ult.
It would actually be very, very interesting. I think he wouldn't go for Apocalypse if we saw Gargantuan. If we saw Ravenous Spirit, of course, I mean, it's almost a given. But if we saw the LDLC-esque go to Gargantuan from ESC here, then, yeah, maybe wouldn't take Apocalypse.
But what if he gets level 10 first?
Then they'd wait.
No. Because then you might have to fight. Like, at level 10, if you get level 10 earlier, you almost always try to fight. Can he really afford not to pick his ultimate before he sees which Nazeebo sees? I feel like, to be honest, they don't really have to go for Fire Breath. They already have Hammer and Vala, which is like the most ridiculous damage, like both of these heroes that you can get, like the highest damage together. So there's really no need for that.
Yeah, no, I
even against an Illidan comp, like Illidan, Rhaegar, they are not like characters that move around all that much in the fight. So getting Apocalypse could be coming, really handy.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. You're right. This is going to be an interesting one. As I said before, Fnatic need to win this 2-0 to get... Sorry, not Fnatic. ESC need to win this 2-0 to get themselves a good spot in the playoffs potentially here. Whilst Gamers2, they're already in the playoffs, but they would really like to take this victory so they could be in first place moving forward. So let's get into game number 1, guys, here for the ESL Major League for Heroes of the Storm, as we have Nika on the left-hand side of this map, representing Gamers2. He's going to be playing on Valor. ADRD is going to play Sergeant Hammer. Shaiku is going to be playing Sonya. Leo from Korea is on Uther. And Zhao is on Diablo. And And then on the right-hand side, of course, we have Invidium on Tassadar, Anti-Hero on Shen, Nebzi on Rehgar, Snow on Nazeebo, and Lotus finally on Illidan.
Naker is usually the one that plays the hammer on Gamers2. I know that ADRD is quite decent with it too, but already interesting to note. And Regeneration Master on hammer? I did not expect that.
No, I did not expect that either. That is quite unconventional. Normally you see straight to the extra little bit of damage that you're able to get on the range, or even if you're going up against something like a Malfurion, you actually see the denial, like the 75% reduced on the roots and things like that. But this is a bit of an interesting choice. I'm really, really surprised by it as well.
Here we are again, Kailaris. Tank versus tank at top.
Uh-oh.
And Shen, most of all.
It's always Shen, man. But this time he gets to go up against a Diablo, a lovely green Diablo on a lovely horse. So we'll see what he's going to be able to do there.
Yeah, since Stitches was banned, I think Hammer here is a great pick. As long as, you know, they play it well at bottom, they're going to be able to do a lot of damage with Hammer, you know, start pushing the walls here as well. Need to be careful, though. Sieging against a Nazeebo can be very risky business.
Yeah, definitely. You've always got to be careful of that zombie wall causing you some problems. And for now, let's see how Snow is going to be able to play that at the front. They've got quite a good composition here down to the bottom with Rehgar and obviously Tassadar and Nazeebo. That's a lot of protection for Nazeebo to poke on forwards. But poking forwards against a multi-shot Valor and a Hammer, it's nigh on impossible. So they're going to have to really delay out this lane.
Yeah. Oh, you see they swapped lanes, by the way. Sonya went top and now Diablo went mid. I guess, even though like Sonya was going to be okay against Illidan, I guess it was Diablo that was never really going to be able to do much against Shen. So Sonya thought she can do better with the heal. I guess right now she's doing okay.
Some seeds going to be taken here by ESC to start things off, and maybe they can rival a few camps. They took that pretty quickly, so there is the potential that they could rival a camp down here. But again, Hammer and Valor, that's all you have to say when it comes to rivaling that little squadron that they've got there with Uther to support. Very, very difficult to break that triple composition there.
Yeah, they are not putting too much effort here, Gamers2, into the seeds right now. They are letting the other team, you know, get quite a bit. Actually, if Illidan had gone for the other side here, he doesn't expect that it wouldn't be taken, you know, on the top left-hand side. So instead, he just came back mid for now. And Sonya's doing very, quite all right, I guess, against Shen.
I just noticed it then, actually, bringing him down quite low, so able to battle through those shields and cause some problems. A little fight going on down towards the southern Garden Terror. And Snow and those guys will be able to push that off for now, so not too bad of an engagement. Lotus is even coming down to help out whilst all of that is going on, so they really want those seeds to start things off.
Yeah, but it's either, no matter what here, I feel like it's going to be better for Gamers2, even if ESC get more seed, because they're keeping Diablo in the middle to soak. He's actually going to rejoin them. Okay, no, he sees that there is no need, so they soaked quite a bit more XP here, and they actually came out with the same number of seeds, exactly 60 to 60. So I like Gamers2's position, even though, you know, their XP lead is just a slight one. Yeah,
they're going to have to rival that top one as well, though. Lotus actually takes a little bit of stun there, and we'll be able to jump on out for now, as Nico was looking to rotate there with Leo from Korea. Can't do a whole lot, though, as Nebsy's in pursuit to help out. But here comes the second Garden Terror fight, and really, they need to contest this because it's only 30 seeds apiece here, potentially to come out for that Garden Terror to actually come to fruition. And
they get level 7 talent earlier here.
Yeah.
It's so funny to see a Sonya just wreck a Shen who was undefeated 2 days ago in the top lane, or in any lane he went to when he was doing 1v1. Sonya did really, really good against him so far.
That's true, that's true. Shaiku going to end up just having to run back there a little bit, quite injured. And this Garden Terror, some of the seeds have been stolen over here for Gamers2, as they get a few more on the other side as well. Whoever takes this can potentially get a few more seeds, and they're going to kill it off. Nika is in the thick of it, though. Going to take quite a bit of damage as Lotus is on the pursuit. Nebzy is also going quite low, keeps himself alive. Nika is going to be first blood there, though. And the seeds, in the end, it's 94 over to Gamers2. So neither team just yet going to be able to get themselves a Garden Terror in the first night.
Yeah, I don't like these numbers, man. It means they forgot one seed. Definitely should. Yeah, they're gonna pick that up, and yeah, I mean from here the game, you know, kinda is gonna slow down a little bit, but at the same time at bottom, ADRD, he did so much damage. He took the wall, he took one tower, he's about to take the other one. He's gonna send, I guess, Nazeebo back home.
Yep, he's going to have to retreat on out. They've done a lot of damage down here, you're right. That's pretty brutal for them to deal with. That being said, Lotus is going to get themselves an easy camp up towards the top. But obviously we're going to see Hammer as well as Nika actually even going for the hard camp here to really put on some pressure down in the bottom lane. And if a night comes pretty soon, whilst all this is going on, it could cause them some problems.
This is such a good game to be a Hammer in. Like, if you look at the composition of both teams, like, who's gonna put him in danger, really? Unless he's completely out of position ever, this Hammer is gonna do so much damage and pretty much never die as long as they win the fight.
Yeah, the front line's so strong. We mentioned it before. The front line is so strong with Sonya, Diablo, and Uther there. It's a big commitment to the front line, but, well, Divine Storm's coming in. It's gonna be Apocalypse being taken by Diablo. Leap is on the way, Napalm strikes, and finally Strafe. They feel confident to go for the Strafe. There's not actually that much lockdown on the other side, so I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
That Strafe is going to do quite a bit.
Gargantuan or not, Skyrise? What do you think?
It can't be, surely. I mean, as much as Apocalypse is in the game, I think they just have to risk it and do the damage with it, with the Ravenous Spirit. And it is going to be Ravenous Spirit here from the Nazeebo. It's just too much damage to pass up, I feel.
Yeah. It can be difficult to make work, but they are going to try anyway.
Yeah.
And one level ahead here by Gamers2, so, you know, with the position they're in the game, I quite like, you know, how this has developed. But it's really, you know, on that second nightfall where the seeds are gonna appear, that's really is gonna launch either team into a great position. Usually you always see somebody come out ahead from that second night.
ADRD, whenever I see him on Hammer, he's so good about keeping his thrusters on cooldown. He wasn't scared even then with the adversity of Lotus and Invidium trying to push down on him. He just pushed them back, few little mines hit into them, and then from then on he was more than happy to stick around. But then being said, he's going to get engaged on again, and no threat. He sits around and will continue tanking it.
I mean, if you already look at the damage, actually, Gamers2 just do so much more damage than ESC does. Siege damage, hero damage, both. Quite higher numbers.
Yeah. And they're finding room without Garden Terrors. They're getting down these walls. That makes the first Garden Terror all the stronger once the Knight actually comes along in 17 seconds or so. And Sonya was doing okay at the top, but the Wandering Keg... Oh, she could be able to get out. The jump, can he hunt down? It doesn't look like it.
I was trying to drink here for a second, but hesitated. I don't think he was going to get her anyway. I mean, at this point, Gamers2, they are going to be ahead by one talent here momentarily. So this is actually, this looks so scary here for ESC. Like, from there, they're actually trying to engage before the level 13 was taken, but too late. And they're still going to engage, I think.
Yeah, well, level 13 is going to come in very soon. Frostbolt shots has already been taken here. So if they do end up walking too far, a lot of them could be slowed down, and they can't really take an engagement just yet. Also, actually, Bullhead Binds have been added on here by the Hammer as well. There are a lot of options around that 13-16 mark for Hammer, but Bullhead Mines coming out is pretty cool. And increased range on the Ancient Spear coming out for Sonya. So interesting little choices here, which could make it very hard for the opposing team to actually keep out of danger.
Yeah, I guess you might want to go for either Hammer or Nazeebo. Try and catch them. This is... Actually, I was wondering like if this is the right move by Gamers2, but I guess it is. Like, staying there in the middle and making sure they get this fort before anything else happens. Like, they knew they were going to be one talent up for so long that staying there, they force an engagement from ESC, then they just kind of disengage, pull back a little bit, and then take a great fight with one more talent.
Yeah.
So they stayed there long, they made sure that they got the fort, and now they're going to go to work with the seeds. Sonya is going to be the one taking the terror, and I quite like this. On the other side, I think Illidan should be taking it, or Shen.
Yeah, I think maybe even Shen. I mean, substituting out your frontline tank for something as tanky as the Garden Terror, I think is important. You still obviously need to think about your rounded composition when you're going to do it. And it's something that's very interesting in the higher levels of this game, where you don't see people rushing straight to it. It's like, who is going to take the Garden Terror first? Because if you do, it's going to time out before ours. We can use it a little bit more.
The Terror at top. It needs to reach on the team here, Gamers2. They need to be careful. They ran away. They saw this coming, I guess.
Yeah.
That's scary here for a second. I saw 5 heroes. I mean, 4 heroes plus a terror converging towards 4 heroes.
Not exactly
and
good.
I guess they're going to play the game of defending and pushing with the terror only at the same time.
Yep, he's doing some damage up at the top. Not denying those plants means that they will do a huge amount of damage. But actually a great grab there onto Invidium, pushing him back as well into enemy lines. Cannon's going to be able to focus him down with that tower, etc. And that's a lot of extra damage done to Invidium, whilst the other Garden Terror is doing all right up at the top. So there's the potential that Invidiums could die off pretty soon if we see another combo like that come out from Xiaowei.
Yeah, even though they're gonna get a fourth here, ESC, I feel like it's better for Gamers2 because they're soaking in 2 places at once. The 4 is gonna be taken top about as fast as the one in the middle was taken. And, you know, pushing like this with the Terror when nobody's contesting you, it is just a perfect scenario. Look at how much these pods are doing in terms of damage. They're doing so much.
And now they're retreating back, but by the time they even get there, the Terror will be gone. So Shaiku just needs to find her an escape route.
Ooh, Leo almost went a little bit too far here, but turned around on time.
Oh, Nika tries to get a lot of damage done on him, and he did jump in with the Metamorphosis, but the Apocalypse actually locked down so many of them in that situation. Nebsy's going to end up falling as well. Nika now trying to keep alive against Antihero, and I can't believe it. He's actually going to keep him alive with those 3 actually focusing him down. A 4-0 exchange there. Snow is on the retreat out, but just very, very well orchestrated there by G2. Just the Apocalypse did so much there.
Yeah, that was such a sick timing actually by Leo. You know, there was Illidan plus chain around him at the time Apocalypse went up. He immediately used his own ultimate, stunned both of them, and then, you know, they're gonna get hit by Apocalypse no matter what. And then from there, Illidan got insta-killed, just got deleted from the game. And at this point, well, Gamers2, they don't even want to waste any more time, man. They're just going forward to get at least the 1 keep before they might have to pull back.
Nico even pops Strafe to get a little bit of extra damage done on these buildings, and I mean, this is why Gamers2, in my mind, are the best team in Europe at the moment. They're going to go for another fight again. Antihero has gone in. Wandering Keg is trying to push Shaihu all the way back. He is definitely going to fall with being pushed that far. So a little bit of an overextension. They lose 1 man, but can they retreat out? That's the big question, because he gets caught by the zombie wall. Well,
great zombie wall here, actually. Nice heal on the Illidan. Actually, they're going to chase them down now. I guess they overextended here. The timers were still very, very low. I think ESC was like, what, level 14? So they weren't dead for that long. Yeah. So they just revived, ran in there. They got most of their ultimates ready. And they took a great fight, you know, with Sonya getting pushed inside of the base like this and sniped instantly. Now all of a sudden, ESC are trying to steal the camp. But remember, they're still behind by 1 talent. They need to be careful not to overextend themselves now.
Yeah, and those talents are a big deal. It's double imposing presence, extra overpower, extra mines, and blood for blood. So all of that coming in really has a huge difference maker, especially the blood for blood. If Chen overextends and gets a blood for blood hit on him, that's a huge extra little boost there to Nika. If he's being focused down for the health he's going to be able to regain during all of that. So they do have to be careful, and they are going to back off for now.
It's so interesting that Hammer went for the mines on level 13 and 16 with bullhead mines and minefields. He's going to get 5 mines that are pretty damn strong. That will now back even more. And I feel like he only did that because of Illidan, but he gets caught and he escaped.
Shrink Ray was onto him, so that slows him down a lot, and he is going to fall. That was a bit of a bad spot there for ADRD. Quite uncharacteristic of ADRD, actually, to be that split off from his team, who are up at the top now, able to try and get a few more seeds for themselves. And they have another Garden Terror. If they could deny all of these seeds from coming in at the top, actually, that being said, there's another Garden Terror at the bottom. So at least we're going to see ESC actually have their own Garden Terror after this night.
But you know, I would have much rather here for ESC to go at the top, because if you kill somebody like this out of position, and then you rush towards the opponent and you somehow engage them, especially with an Illidan, they can't run away, it's a 5 versus 4.
Yeah.
They're all on full hit points. They should win that fight easily. They're going to try to go for the fight now, but Gamers2 should be able to disengage, I think.
They're going to try. Shaiku takes a little bit of damage there.
Even Tassadar popped ultimate for nothing here.
Yeah. So didn't really get on top of that, but I kind of have to agree. Yeah, they could have probably pursued down there and done a bit of damage, even denied the Seas from coming in there, and just challenged that location at least. I think they were, I don't want to say tunnel vigiling, but they were so set on getting their own Garden Terror that they weren't thinking about the bigger picture.
I think if the roles were reversed and it was Gamers2 that caught somebody like this out of position, they definitely would have done the great move of, you know, going for the fight and then found themselves in a 5 versus 4 situation, because it's just ideal. You just wipe the entire team. Usually you're going to lose 1 guy, max maybe 2. And then from there, well, you get all of the seeds on the map, you get your terror, and then you start pushing.
There comes Anti-Hero with the Wandering Keg. He's trying to push everybody around, but he's taking a lot of damage whilst all of that is going on. He's going to be healed up fully, but Nika likewise takes a lot of damage. He gets healed up fully, and there's the Apocalypse again! It catches so many of them. They're very, very low. Nika now still alive for just a little bit longer. He will fall to Anti-Hero, but Xiao is going to continue to chase down Anti-Hero, who has been left alone. But they still get a really good trade at the moment, 2 for 1, with the potential third if they are able to catch another.
Yeah, you saw that, the Apocalypse greatly timed with the Divine Storm here once again, hitting 3 heroes, that's massive. Getting 3 heroes with Divine Storm is already massive, but if you combo that with Apocalypse, they took quite a bit of damage, they were stunned for a very long time. Still, just a 1-for-2 trade though. And ADRD getting caught here a little bit out of position, needs to be careful.
Yeah, Anti-Hero and Invidium causing him some problems, but the Seed unfortunately doesn't even catch Invidium or ADRD as he was trying to throw that down. Now the jump in from Anti-Hero again, looking for an extra kill, maybe on Xiao, very, very low, as Invidium is also chasing down with the Archon. He's going to go down his Diablo, but how many souls did he have? No, by the looks of things, not too many, so he's going to take a little while to respawn during all of this. So at least they're picking up some kills here and pushing G2 back.
Yeah, they engaged as the 3 versus 4, but somehow did okay at first. Now they are being pushed back, but with Illidan and Rega rejoining the fight, Gamers2 might have overextended here a little bit. They need to disengage.
This could go bad.
Knockback is gonna help.
And he will end up almost falling here. There's no way he's going to be able to save. Lotus jumps in, picks him up. Anti-Hero as well is looking for the leaps forwards. There's the strafe to try and slow all this progression down, and it will for now because they have the safety of the fort too. But that's one thing that's cool about having the Chen thingy. What, sorry?
The keep middle just died with a few archers, man. ADRD getting caught again?
Uh-oh. Ah, he's going to fall. He's going to fall. And also the Ravaging Spirit coming out because they just don't have the means by which to interrupt it. ESC are doing all right. They are keeping Gamers2 on the back foot here. Despite losing their middle keep, they get almost a full team wipe. Almost.
I don't believe this. Gamers2, they were 3 versus 5 here. They lost 2 guys, and what do? They move out in the forest where the opponents could be, you know, right there. They get caught, they get killed, and now all of a sudden, ESC in quite a good position. They came back, you know, in XP. They're just half a level behind. They're actually wasting time right now. I think the better move that they could have done is maybe go for the seeds already, spread out, get all the 4 small camps, and then go for one of the big terrors. But I guess they want to try and get a keep first, because they got quite a bit of time anyway.
Yeah, if they can get a keep, that's great. And it looks like that is going to fall down. Maybe just back off. They still have 10 seconds or so available to them before it's even a 4-on-5.
This is actually better than what I suggested. Getting the keep first and now spreading out across the small camps first, getting all the small camps and then gathering up for the big terror. And look, XP-wise, they've almost completely caught up here.
Yeah. Oh, Shaiku's on top of Snow though. Anti-Hero's there to help out as that ancient spear did come out to try and chase him down, but Sprint was popped very quickly there by Snow, making sure he's not going to be killed off too soon. But Zhao and Shaiku causing some problems to Anti-Hero, who can get out.
What's Leo doing? Leo is AFK in the fountain.
Ah.
They need you, Uther, hurry up.
I'm not sure. He may have disconnected looking at that, but now, okay, he's back, he's back. But you're right, they definitely need a 5v5 to actually do something about this. ESC are about to hit level 20, so they have kept up. I'm really impressed that they're able to against G2 here, because, as I said before, they have looked pristine in the Major League at the moment.
Oh, this Rega is very ambitious, just running there. Anti-Hero actually steals quite a bit of the seeds. They get 20 earlier!
Oh, there's Apocalypse. This might give him an opportunity to actually pop Annihilating Spirit, and he's going to go for it. No, no Apocalypse to be able to deny that. A lot of damage coming down here onto G2. Extra members are going to go down. Leo from Korea trying to be kept alive there, but he is going to fall as well. 4-0! Oh my god.
Gamers2 just got 20 now that they lost 4 guys. They didn't get 20 earlier.
They could finish.
Than their opponents here.
They could finish. They're going to go what? Oh my god, ESC.
I can't believe this just happens like this.
What a game. What a game. I'm really surprised we're seeing this. ESC are probably extremely happy at the moment, but they're just going to finish this game with 4 members of Gamers2 dead. And there have not been many maps that Gamers2 have dropped in this tournament so far, but this is one of them. ESC, what a recovery from a very odd position. It was level 17 to level 14, Todd, halfway through this game.
Yeah, they stayed in it somehow. They stayed alive. They waited until the opponent, you know, overextended. They defended nicely, and then from there, they had the right moves. They caught a few players here and there out of position, especially ADRD. And then in the end, well, I guess Gamers2 is going to pay the ultimate price with that first map loss here in this series.
Yeah, that's very good for ESC there. What a morale boost as well for them going into this series against a team that they knew was going to be very, very tough, but they were able to turn it around at the end against a composition that I thought was really, really powerful there for Gamers2, actually.
Yeah, I can't believe they overextended so hard like this and like even moved out when 2 players were dead. Like they moved right out of that wall, went into a bush. Never a good idea to do something like that. They didn't have too much, I guess, to reveal around them, but I don't know. Like these mistakes, I would not expect out of Gamers2 usually.
No, that was a little bit uncharacteristic there of Gamers2. But that means now ESC is 1 game up in this best of 3. We're going to go to a short break, and then when we're back, we're going to have game number 2 here in this final best of 3 for the group stage, or the second final best of 3 for the group stage here at the ESL Major League. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the ESL Major League here from our ESL studios live, as we have these two teams at the moment pitted in a best-of-3 situation, and ESC is currently leading 1-0. We can actually get into the draft for game number 2 now, so let's jump right on in. Now, first second map is going to be Dragonshire here, as the bans and picks have unfolded, and I'm very, very surprised at the outcome of game number 1. I wouldn't say very surprised, but Gamers2 had a great lineup, but they weren't able to execute their Todd.
Yeah, with an Illidan composition, if the fights are going your way and if Illidan is not being completely shut down, if you have those small, scrappy fights with like just a few heroes left with very low hit points here and there, that's where Illidan thrives the most.
Yeah.
If you don't completely shut him down, then you're gonna struggle to play against an Illidan comp, and that's what happened here with multiple overextension by Gamers2 rather than going, for the safe camps, take their time and all that. They had a great lead. They pushed a little bit too far, and both times that they did that, they lost way too many heroes. And the second time, actually, at bottom, they still had 3 heroes alive. All they had to do, was pull back. They were not going to be, in the greatest of situations because either way, ESC was going to get a lot of seeds, but they could have just waited. It's better, to wait it out and then take a good fight rather than get hasty and then engage into a 3 versus 5, and that's what happened. 3 versus 5, you never want that to happen. Then they got wiped, and when you get wiped against a very good team, it's very, very hard to recover.
Well, as we can see here in the bans and picks to start off in game number 2, Gamers2 had the first ban, and they went for Nova, which is just one of those bans where they're like, well, we don't really care. We're just going to have our composition here, and you were only allowed the 1 ban possible, so I mean, the 2 damage dealers, the 2 big damage dealers, have already either been banned or picked. So ESC has to go over to the Nazeebo here to keep themselves in a good balance of range damage.
Ooh, and Tassadar as well. They didn't want Gamers2 to go for both, possibly, Illidan and Tassadar, or Tassadar and Rhaegar, in which case you can still combo with other things than Illidan, but obviously then you're exposed to the opponents picking it. Interesting already. Now, at this point, Gamers2, do they worry that Illidan could be picked as well as Rhaegar? And yeah, I think they do, because they picked Illidan themselves with the ETC.
All right, well, that's a cool little choice here from Gamers2. They are also very well versed and adept with the idea of going for an Illidan composition. And ESC now are faced with tough choices. They obviously want themselves a frontliner. They may go Stitches themselves. I mean, it's not too bad on Dragonshire at all. That's still available to them, but they want some good damage. Illidan Valor is a really, really good, solid core damage group there.
Yeah, I wonder how much CC do both teams want to go for, getting a few stunners in here and there, especially since right now ESC, they only have, Tassadar and Nazeebo, there is no lockdown capacity.
Yeah.
Against something like an Illidan, so even going for something like a double heal, I've seen that happen, and quite successfully. Going for Brightwing, to ship the Illidan, and then going for Uther as well can be very, we saw last game, Uther was shutting down Illidan pretty hard early on. It's really later on when they made mistakes that it didn't really matter anymore.
And adding on the Shen there as well, so I think if they tried to do something like a double healer composition with the Shen mixed into there, it might be a little difficult. I mean, Tassadar obviously provides themselves some good damage, of course, but I mean, you're theorizing, right? It's not something that is straight going to come out here. But Gamers2 now, on the other side of things, they really want their healer. Rhaegar is available to them. I don't see any reason why they wouldn't go for Rhaegar here with the Illidan that they have available. And also, just Ancestral Healing works great with ETC. But Uther comes out. I mean, they could go for double healer as well with Illidan and Valor. I wouldn't mind that in the slightest.
I wonder whose job it is going to be to interrupt Nazeebo's ultimates. And if you start picturing the fight here already, you're gonna have this Nazeebo using his ultimate, which is gonna be hard to interrupt. You're gonna have Brightwing nearby, ready to protect him and disable at least one of the heroes for quite a bit. And at the same time, you're gonna have the Shen pushing people around, trying to split them from the rest of the heroes.
True.
Possibly, Illidan from his healer, all the other way around. So a lot of potential in ESC's composition, but at the same time, Gamers2, they do have pretty good heroes in my opinion. They already have a tank. They're missing another assassin here maybe, or maybe a specialist to help with that.
I'm trying to think myself what they really want to go for, because I'm thinking
ranged.
Yeah, I'm thinking that ETC's job is going to be the one to try and track down Nazeebo and keep him locked down.
Tychus, maybe?
Maybe. We're on Dragonshire, right? I tried to refresh and...
Tyrande, I was going to say Tyrande also could be.
Okay.
Especially when you have a Uther, like Uther Tyrande is just so strong. You have ETC at the front pushing people around. If anybody is out of position just for 1 second, you just catch him, you push him back. Uther stun, Tyrande stun, dead instantly.
And I mentioned it before, Todd. We theorized about this a few weeks ago. Tyrande and ETC on the same team. You take True Shot Aura, and oh my god, everything attacks really, really fast. I love it to death. It's one of my favorite compositions. It's like mini Bloodlust, but let's see how well that's going to work out. It is. It's a cute Bloodlust. All right.
I feel like Tyrande, by the way, is a nice substitute to Tassadar. I already pointed this out last time. It's a little bit of heal here and there that you're gonna have extra for the Illidan, so it's pretty nice. Who are you feeling here for ESC? An assassin, right?
It's gotta be, surely. It's gotta be, but it's very limited now in what they want to go for. Maybe Arena? Maybe Arena or Tychus or something. It's
either an assassin or something that will counter. That they think will counter Illidan. Like for example, I don't know. If they went to Malfurion with Twilight ultimates, I guess maybe it could do okay against both, you know, Uther, Illidan, and ETC, like having 3 melee that are gonna rely a lot on their spells.
That's a good theory.
I don't think they can go for another tank. I think they can go for a melee assassin or a ranged assassin.
Yeah. I'm thinking something like
the double healer would only be with Malf, but not to play as a main healer, I guess.
Yeah, a little bit of extra damage in there, and as you say, the lockdown and the not even the lockdown. Oh, but Zeratul comes out, so it was the damage, and you were kind of speculating at some melee even coming out. So Zeratul will be the choice here for ESC to round things up. So interesting compositions, actually, there going into Dragonshire. Not exactly the most conventional of what I'm used to seeing going into Dragonshire, actually.
I think Zeratul's pretty good on this map, and they already have the Tassadar themselves. Like, I mean, even when there is a Tassadar against you, actually, picking a Zeratul against a Tassadar is basically saying that even though he's going to be able to reveal you, even if he goes for the Oracle cooldown reduction, that means he's not going to go for Healing Ward. The Healing Ward is so strong, everybody loves to go for Healing Ward. So it's usually definitely not the end of the world. But in this case, they are the ones who have the Tassadar. Against them, the only guy that could do a very good job, or rather girl, of revealing the Zeratul is the Tyrande, but I don't even think that she's gonna take her spells according, you know, to having a Zeratul against them. So it's a pretty good choice. It could do a lot of damage, you know.
It could. I'm also. It's very cool to see how these lineups shape up because of the way game number 1 actually went. If we do see ESC actually pushing through with a victory in 2-0. With a lineup like this, I'm going to be extremely impressed at how they've been shaping things up. Right now, they were talking to me in whispers. They are very hyped. After that game number 1, they are very, very hyped, very pumped. So if they could take this 2-0, that would be a massive deal for them. Absolutely huge against a team like Gamers2.
We'll see, guys. Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
True.
They weren't doing too well in the first game before Gamers2 overextended. Definitely going to need a better start here. And I guess in terms of draft here, who do you prefer? I don't see a clear favorite personally.
Let me look down it. For the overall meta levels of what I would want to talk about, I would favor Gamers2 again. But I did that last game, and we all know how that worked out with ESC being able to pull out that first win. So I don't know. Let's just go crazy and say ESC is going to take it 2-0. Let's just go for it. How about you, Todd?
Yeah, both comps. Actually, I feel like it's going to come down to a lot on how the fights go exactly. Like on this map, I really don't expect people to make similar mistakes that we saw in the previous game, you know, with getting caught out of position. Like some of these actions were actually like really, really bad. ADRD when he got caught at the bottom by himself, like I have no idea what he was doing there. So if that doesn't happen in fights, I still feel like it's really, really open. Getting the Brightwing against an Illidan is definitely going to be nice. Yeah, still trying to really picture the fight. Like Saiku, I'm pretty sure is going to go for the stage dive, but I guess there isn't that much interrupt other than for Brightwing, but usually Brightwing is enough. Like you can't really like jump in and ultimate a Brightwing with ETC, so Brightwing isn't off, but then that will mean that if Brightwing has to use the ship stick on ETC, then Illidan has free reign against the other team. So I guess that's interesting. Like if they take all of this in consideration, we might see, you know, some very specific picks in terms of talents.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I'm anticipating stage dive as well, of course. I mean, it actually works out really, really well here on Dragonshire. We've seen it many, many a time where even, I think we saw the most amazing stage dive yesterday where he like jumped in towards the keep and was just not useful. That one was brilliant because he was obviously hunting down the kill, but it had already happened before it even landed. So that was a funny one. But it's always been very useful. ETC has really shaped, molded a lot of the current games in the meta. But anyway, let's get into it. Game number 2 now between Gamers2 and ESC, as we have on the left-hand side, I was about to say spawning on the left, we have...
But they are technically.
Yeah, true. It is Nika on Valor, Jaihu on ETC, Leo from Korea on Uther, Zhaowei on Illidan, ADRD on Tyrande, and then on the right we have Antihero on Shen once again, Invidium on Tassadar, Nebzi on Brightwing, Snow on Zeratul, and finally Lotus on Nazeebo.
You say Zhaowei?
Zhaowei.
Zhaowei?
I say Zhaowei, but I don't know. I picked it up from Caldo. I don't know if it's right or wrong. I assume it's right. He casts a lot of heroes.
Yeah, but if you don't ask the players, then you will never know for sure.
That's true. That's very
true. They are
true.
the ones who decide. Both teams here are going to open, you know, with a 5-man in the middle, very standard on this map here. I don't think they're going to want to brawl too much, but if anybody moves out of position here, there will be a punishment delivered instantly.
Yeah, this has become very, very common to actually have these weird fights in the middle, but Lotus is actually taking a lot of damage and will be blown up instantly there. Very, very good little combination of the stuns to keep him locked down, and there was not a whole lot that ESC could do.
Yeah, in terms of stun and lockdown, Gamers2, they definitely have so much potential with the ETC at the front. All it takes, you know, Nazeebo wasn't even particularly out of position. He was just a little bit too much at the front. Gets caught and instantly pays the price for it. So again, we got a duel at the top, by the way, with Shen. This time it's against Illidan.
All right, well, let's see how Zhao is going to be able to do against that. But, I mean, you're right. The Uther Tyrande composition that we've seen, I've seen it in roaming comps before in the Major League, and we've seen it just straight up actually do so much in just in a straight-up engagement down in like a 3v3 lane. So if the stuns get timed out well here by G2, and usually they do, ADRD and Leo from Korea are going to cause a lot of problems for ESC.
I'm a bit surprised that Zeratul went for block, by the way. Like Regeneration Master or, you know, the Reduce Blink would have made more sense here, in my opinion.
I guess he's feeling a little bit pressured against this kind of lineup. It's... or will be feeling pressured against it, because there is just a lot available to them here to actually jump into those front lines. As you said, ETC, Uther, as well as Illidan. Any kind of time he's going to jump on in, he'll be looking for like Nika and ADRD, of course, in the back lines, but damage can come out.
Okay, they need to be careful to soak everywhere. Zeratul's going to come back mid. They're still doing the rotation between mid and bottom here. Gamers2 pulling that off pretty well. Oh, again! Can he land the stun? He's waiting. Oh, nice dodge. Actually, Gamers2, they might lose ADRD. No, he's going to escape barely.
Yeah. Good denial of that healing ward, though, very, very quickly. So even if it had sat on the back lines of it, he is being denied health and will have to teleport back after tapping that well. But now, Snow just rotating around to mid. They can't get their hands on the Dragon Knight just yet, as the top shrine was taken away by Zhaowei. And their bottom one has been contested.
It's actually crazy, the potential of Nazeebo getting caught here.
Oh,
somebody else gets caught here. Tassadar. Yeah, against an ETC, when you see him coming and he's mounted, and you're dismounted, you already know that you're in so much trouble, because he's going to catch up to you, he's going to use his power slides, and I mean, from there, it just pushes you towards, you know, his allies. Then from there, you get stunned and you get instantly killed. So ETC plus Tyrande, apart from the excitement you got, you know, for the attack speed, just as stunners and CC, they're just great.
No, you're definitely right. You are definitely right. I'm surprised Invidium actually died down to the south there. That was a very anticlimactic death almost. It felt as if he didn't do a huge amount to trying to get out of that position. But, I mean, he was blocked in. It was good positioning, obviously, by Shaiku, Nika, and ADRD. And now they're going to capture themselves this bottom shrine and push ESC back. So Not much they can do to contest that just yet with these level 7 talents having just popped.
Yeah, Illidan is not having a fun time, by the way, at the top right now.
No.
Yeah, against Shen, you need to be very patient. He's gonna have to heal for now and play pretty defensive. It's so annoying, like, 'cause Shen even jumps on you all the time, and there's nothing you can do for the most part.
Yeah, it's tough. It is tough. Actually, Brightwing, having taken Envenom here, has a little bit of extra damage to add to the table once someone actually is focused down, so it's a good choice by him on that point. And also Gust of Healing being taken, so extra little healing in a burst, almost, compared to other talents that you can actually take there with the... I can't even remember the name of it, the one that allows you to have extra pulses when you cast abilities, but... So going over...
I think he did that because there is an Illidan. Like, if there is a Zeratul or an Illidan against you and you're Brightwing, it can be good to take that because you're gonna do a lot of damage to them, and you're not really giving up anything else that's important. ETC actually, the duel of the big tanks, of the big boys at the top is happening now.
All right, so yeah, Mr. ETC has stepped in. Illidan's going to decide to rival Snow for a little bit in mid, who is just sitting around and not doing a whole lot really, is Snow. He'll sit in stealth and just soak that lane and do okay, so he's all right.
Usually, like, what you have to give up to get Envenom on Brightwing is the shield that you will go for.
Yeah.
In this comp, they already have the Shen at the front that can get shielded by both Brightwing and Tassadar. They have the healing ward, and Brightwing that will heal a lot, so they already have enough healing, you know.
Yeah.
They already have enough sustain that he can go for that.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Glad you raise these things, Todd. That's why you're the analyst. And that shot is actually going to be taken again, so there is still the opportunity for them to try and get a Dragon Knight, but the melee battle in mid is so difficult for you to actually pick up one of those Dragon Knights when it's just melee versus melee. Range versus ranged is a little easier, because you can actually trade off and maybe outplay your opponent and do some good damage, but here come the level 10s now, and it's pretty much what we expected from this side of things, with Stage Dive being taken on ETC between the two.
I think I like Illidan better against a Zeratul in a 1v1 situation, but as soon as anybody will go mid, there will be a lot of potential to kill that Illidan if he's out of position just a little bit. So he's gonna have to be careful here, Jawi.
Realizing that they are away, taking that easy camp means that they can pick up this bottom shrine again, but Illidan will be extra careful about defending the mid, knowing that there is the potential of them trying to jump on that a little bit earlier. But Owl went in, saw all the positioning of the entire team here from Invidium, Nebsy, and Lotus, and they know that they're all at the bottom, so they don't have to worry about it too much.
This Shen is hilarious at top, by the way. Saiku tried to take the shrine for a second, Shen jumped on him, and then he came back on the lane, and Shen jumped back into the lane. He's just having a ton of fun.
Anti-Hero is really enjoying it by the looks of things up at the top, doing all right for himself. There was an opportunity here for a small Lunar Flare, but nothing being done down to the bottom.
One thing I didn't talk about yet, by the way, is having Emerald Wind is going to be so good against 3 melee heroes that rely so much on their ultimates. So in terms of ultimates, like, you have Ravenous Spirit that shouldn't be able to get countered too easily. You have Emerald Wind against 3 melee heroes that rely a lot on their spell, and then you have Void Prison plus Wandering Cake that can help isolate heroes. So I feel like they have so much potential, ESC, in terms of big fights with their ultimates. But it's going to be very hard to exploit it against somebody as good as Gamers2.
Oh, Nebsy might be locked in here. If he had Blink Heal, he may have been able to get out, but it's going to be Emerald Wind, as you mentioned, and that is going to mean he is going to die. But at the same time, we also had another trade-off with Tyrande actually going down. Void Prism is going to be able to get them out, but Xiaowei looking for the Metamorphosis straight on top of Tassadar, and he will end up falling as well.
Yeah, 2-4-1 here, which means that now we have a team on level 13, Gamers2 against only level 12 for ESC, 1 talent ahead. I feel like if Nazibo had stayed back a little bit, behind the wall and used the ultimate then, he would have been able to use it for the full duration and it would have done more damage, but overall it was just Gamers2 handling the fight better than ESC, which allowed them to do 2-4-1 here.
Yeah, tough stuff there for Nebsy being in the position that he was and them able to jump on that as they did. But, well, they got themselves a few towers down at the bot here. That gives them a nice levels lead worth to actually continue on. But level 13 comes in now for ESC. They're going to take Relentless, Shrink Ray, Ice Block, Wormhole, and Sprint on the usual suspects here. So Shrink Ray actually coming in just for Tassadar to have a little bit more control of the fights.
Yeah, Shrink Ray usually is dedicated to Illidan. And 6th Sense on Illidan is a very good choice here against, so much, I don't know what to call it, magic damage, ability damage.
Yeah.
When you have a Zeratul you have Brightwing, Tassadar, and Nazeebo against you. It's definitely better to get that rather than Giant Killer, in my opinion.
Yep, Adiada, you're going to take a little bit of damage there.
By the way, Brightwing went for Ice Block rather than Sprints.
I wonder, because you can couple Ice Block with Gust of Healing if you're in a bit of a bad spot. If you pop the Gust of Healing and then actually use Ice Block, it's still pulsing in the middle of everybody and you're not really taking too much damage, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I guess since he wants to go for Emerald Wind, if he's in a really bad position, then he might use Emerald Wind, then Ice Block, or even the other way around. Like if he really gets surrounded by the 3 melee heroes or gets like some lockdown. Like if he sees that Uther is about to, you know, there's a bit of a cast time on Emerald Wind. If he sees Uther is about to, you know, stun lock him with a double stun, I mean 2 stun plus the ultimate, he could use Ice Block first and then Emerald Wind.
Well, and always now you've got to be careful here of Tyrande with her Lunar Blaze, of course. And actually, interestingly enough, I'm really surprised. You know, he went for Battle Momentum over some of the other things that you can take at that level 7 with the potential True Shot Aura coming out. So it's not going to be my little mini Bloodlust that I do love and dearly. But Battle Momentum's cool. You get extra Lunar Flares there. I'm okay with that.
It's okay, guys.
I'll cry.
You'll be alright.
I'll cry myself to sleep later on. It's okay.
Rotation's happening at the bottom by Anti-Hero and Snow on Shen and Zeratul here, so Gamers2 gonna have to be careful here, especially since Illidan's busy with the hard camp right now. This is looking very scary for Tyrande.
Yeah, gotta be very careful. Nika is also in a very, very compromising situation because Snow and Anti-Hero are on the left-hand side here, but they're not gonna look for the pursuit on forwards.
Oh, Nebzi! He's trying to get away.
He's up to the top. And he should be able to eventually, but at the same time, another kill actually goes down over here with Shen being picked up, so...
I think he went down to like a few dozen hit points. That was so close, and then barely used ult, and at the same time regenerated from the Gust of Healing. So very, very nice move, surviving. And yeah, they need to stabilize, they need to get level 16 and then fight with equal talents. But Gamers2, once again, when they have a lead, they do very well. Other than when they overextend with... really bad attacks like in the previous game.
Yeah, it's going to be double blood for blood as you mentioned it, and then imposing presence on Uther as well. They actually find Snow with a Lunar Flare. He has to jump on out. Metamorphosis to try and chase down. Xiaowei going very, very deep for this one. And Void Prism will be able to save him, but at the same time...
get punished.
Yeah, here comes the Drake.
They are too far out of position. If they had reacted faster, I think they might have been able to actually catch him and kill him, especially with Brightwing being there, but... they're gonna try to catch somebody else, but the Drake is up in here.
Yeah, and Anti-Hero already taking quite a bit of damage. Double spike goes onto Nika, that brings him very low. He can't go into the fight just yet. Snow is looking for the kill. He has to go back out with the wormhole from his blink to continue this fight on and keep himself alive, but 1-for-1 already as ETC as well as Zeratul are gonna fall at the start of this. But Leo from Korea is still in this Dragon Knight, doing a lot, pushing back Anti-Hero all the way out of this fight, but he needed to because Xiaowei was very, very low.
He's gonna jump.
Push him back. Hey, he doesn't want to push him towards Xiaowei. That would have been kind of scary, but he would have died if he would have gone for that anyway.
Got kicked very far here. You never stand on the other side of the Drake. You always get kicked into building if you do. And Nazeebo, once again, out of position here, chased a little bit too far. This keeps happening. They feel like they are this close to getting the kill, and they are, but in the end, they don't get it. The other team turns around. They're 4 with a Drake as well. And Nazeebo gets punished for it. Yeah,
we see so much focus down on really good targets from Dragon Knights. Say, for example, Anti-Hero there, just pushing him back every single time, not allowing that tank priority to be an issue, so they can just focus down on the damage dealers as well as even the healers if they get an opportunity. It's really, really powerful stuff there once you've got a Dragon Knight in a 5v5 situation.
Yeah, this is what you call great here, by the way, what's happening. Trying to get the camp the way they're doing it. He's actually very, very greedy, but I guess Nazeebo's still down, so they're going to be able to get away with it for now.
And here comes ETC as well.
Oh, Nazeebo, if he positions well, I don't know why he's not sprinting.
He's not in there. Wandering Keg is actually pushing a lot of them towards this and trying to push them all towards the towers. Shaiku is going to take a lot of damage. There's the Nazeebo, as Shaiku is going to fall very, very low and end up falling down as well. Leo from Korea now taking quite a bit of damage. He was healed up and getting out of there, but... that, as you say, you know, that came at the cost of a hard camp. I don't mind the kill. It's going to leave ETC down for a while.
Now they can be the ones, you know, that go on the other side of the map, that take camps. At the same time, you have Brightwing staying at the top, making sure he can get stacks for his bribe, getting more experience as well. So they're catching up. Gamers2, even though they're ahead and they're playing really well, once again, every time they overextend like this, they're giving a better chance for ESC to come back in the game.
Yeah, and now they're going to have to clean up this hard camp. That'll buy a little bit of time for the easy camp even to be taken down to the bottom here. I think we see 2 stacks of bribe on Brightwing, maximum. Yeah, so he will be able to pick that up. And they can pressure whilst all that's going on, and Brightwing can easily get into the fight if needs be.
Yeah, the fight here is going to decide who gets the Drake and possibly the game, so it's going to be very important to take as good of a fight as possible. But with all the ultimates that they have done, actually, right now, ESC need to take things slow. They're going to group up at bottom and leave Brightwing to be alone at top for now. There is actually so much potential of fights, of good fights, that Gamers2 could have gone for here if they realized that all the ultimates were down for this long. I guess they're still missing their Starfall, but it's definitely not one of the more important ultimates here.
Well, they saw everyone's position down here with the Owl. They also saw that Shrine being taken here, so they gotta be a little bit careful about how they're gonna do. ETC's at the top. Can stage dive, and he's gonna come straight on it. Anti-Hero taking a lot of damage. Wandering Cake is up, but he's gonna fall very quickly. There's a Metamorphosis as well for Xiaowei with the first aid popped after it to get scaling off of that extra health he gets him from Metamorphosis. And now they're just going to have to back up. Losing Anti-Hero that early on, losing the tanking presence in their army, they're going to have to fall back.
With DTC at the front, they have so much sustain. Needs to not get overeager here, though. And again, this is one of the times where Gamers2 are gonna pull ahead, but they need to use their advantage as good as can. And they're going to do just that. They get the Drake. They're going to pressure forward. This time, though, once again, Shane's not going to be dead for too long. They're going to need to pull back on time. But if you look at the ultimates, again, there is only one single ultimate up for ESC, and that's the Ravenous Spirit.
And they're going to be going up against level 20 very soon here for Gamers2, which will cause them a huge issue. It's going to be difficult to really take a proper fight. They can't really get experience themselves unless Brightwing split off and K back in for a later fight. But the fight could happen at any time at this point with this keep about to fall.
Yeah, they're trying to wait a little bit more until they can get closer to the ultimates. And they actually engage as the keep dies. Shane gets kept away.
Oh, Invidium's going to end up going down as well here. Very close to actually falling, but the shift down. Nebsy trying to save with the Emerald Wind. Anti-Hero is there on the front lines, but the Ravaging Spirit's actually doing quite a lot. Leo from Korea is going to go down. The Ice Block saved Nebsy for just a little bit there, and he ends up falling, and the push away to isolate. So Lotus is going to take a lot of damage here.
ADRD fell to 40 hit points. He actually explodes here in the end. The Zeratul coming in from behind. Caught him barely, so it's 3-4-2. I guess ESC salvaged the situation. I feel like, oh, okay, as I say that. He actually gets one more.
Oh, Snow with the plays. Oh, God, that pickup on Valor was beautiful there by Snow, and getting out as well. That evened things up, arguably. Despite them not having level 20 yet, they really need that.
Yeah, actually, if you think about it, if they can stabilize here from there, ESC, there is so much potential for that Zeratul to just wreck Gamers2 completely. They have so many squishy heroes. Illidan, Tyrande, and Vala, you know, just out there ready to get sniped. But at the same time, you cannot overextend with the Zeratul. If you blink forward and you stay a little bit too long, you get stunned, and you can't wormhole out of there, you're dead instantly. So he needs to be careful. Zeratul needs to wait until the attention is taken away from Gamers2 players, and then finally go in, use his double nuke, wormhole out, keep on doing that up until he can then get them low enough, you know, for them to go for the fight. But if they go immediately for the fight, when I guess when they're in a setup to go for a 5 versus 5, it's going to be that much harder for ESC to win the fight.
They're going to get themselves their level 20 very soon as well, though, at least, so that will help out ESC, but at the same time, Gamers2 is looking, they're on the warpath. The actual blink in there from Shaihu to try and deny this easy camp from being taken. This is going to cause a fight to erupt pretty soon. And it's so close to being taken. Here comes the Annihilating Spirit, though, who's just able to talent it. Level 20 is here. Shaihu's going to go low. ATRD also falls. Anti-Hero pushing forwards with the Wandering Keg. 2 kills off the pickup. Shaihu going for that easy camp, an overextension, one would say.
Yeah, Vala was way too far away for them to engage this early on. Especially to try and steal an easy camp that's pretty much useless. They haven't lost a single fort, Kailaris. There was really no need for them to do that, and once again they overextend, they lose 2 guys. And if they fight like they did on the Garden of Terror with 3 versus 5, well, they're gonna lose the same way that they did.
Yeah.
They're gonna have to be careful, but now it's actually the same situation, the exact same situation.
They've been pushed back so far.
Pressing for the keep. Except this time after the keep, rather than going for seeds, since there is no seeds here. they're going to try to basically get the Drake.
Oh, they jump in onto Nika there. He takes a little bit of damage. Anti-hero, though, going to half health. Shields will be able to help from that keg to keep him alive and well. And they've only got 15 seconds left on the clock. They're not going to continue on. Look for the Dragon Knight now and try and push down some more of these forts. Look at the experience. Dead even, but there's still these forts to kill. So if they can press their advantage here, they could... They've kept themselves in this at the moment. They have definitely kept themselves in this.
There's a trap at bottom with 4 versus 3 here, potentially. Zeratul faked that he was going up, but he's gonna be there. It could be a 5 versus 3 here, Kailaris. Great move, they anticipated this.
Snow is going to be able to jump in wherever he wants as well. Leo from Chris trying to sprint out, but there is the Void Prism catching 3 of them. ADRD coming in with the Starfall to try and help them out, but the Annihilating Spirit's going to bring Leo from Korea very, very low. He dies off super, super fast there. There's the Divine Storm from the Spirit to try and keep them alive. At least they're able to pick up Zeratul in all of that, and the Healing Ward on the left-hand side is doing a lot of work for them, keeping them very, very healthy indeed. Anti-hero trying to Wandering Keg. Xiao is going to fall, so 2 men down here for Gamers2. A lot of damage from that Twilight Archon coming out. Actually, Nika had to jump away.
They're gonna get it.
And Shaihu's gonna fall. It's gonna be a 3v1. Wow, 3v1 exchange. So good here for ESC.
What a great move, guys. Great move here by ESC. Instead of doing the same as they did in the previous game and going for the keep, staying for too long, they fake that they go for the shrines, and then at the last second they realize that basically to try and prevent that, Gamers2 was gonna try and get the bottom shrine. So they regroup with 5, they engage with a 5 versus 3, and well, you see how that ended. A trade for 1 against 3 heroes.
Yeah. At the moment, ESC must be a little bit nervous because right now they are mounting the comeback. They're going to get themselves a Dragon Knight and can push on through towards mid, get themselves a fort, maybe push even a little bit further. And if they win this 2-0, as I said before, they have a fantastic shot of getting playoffs. And to beat them 2-0 here, although that strafe is doing a lot of damage, it was unexpected. Gamers2 are such a powerful team, but right now they're up against it.
Yeah, they're about to be all alive. Oh my god. That was sudden.
That was a great Divine Hurricane. Nebsy's actually going to have to jump into the ice block there as well, but he's going to die almost instantly. Emerald wins trying to push all of this back, but he will fall. Gamers2 now mounting the comeback. A little bit of an overextension for 3 of the players there for ESC. Did cause them a few deaths.
Oh, the stage dive going to be used right in there.
Oh, pushing him away.
Nice. Oh my god, that Shen was so low on hit points. With the triple blink, they have so much potential, you know, to engage, get out as well. I guess Vada needed that mostly to get out ETC, to get right back in the fight sometime. Chasing as well is going to be great for them. And they're going to try to finish. With 2 guys down and pretty long timers, 25 seconds and 32 seconds, they're going to try to finish against the Drake as well here. Yeah,
got to use the Dragon Knight now for defensive purposes. It's very rare that you see this. Anti-heroes trying to push them towards the core to try and do extra damage here, but there goes Strafe. Very, very difficult for them to engage in this location. Here comes the Divine Hurricane once again, and as he pops, this is going to cause a whole lot of issues. Snow ends up going down as well, and ESC, they were on the verge of making a very, very fantastic comeback, but look at how Gamers2 have been able to sustain, but the Annihilating Spirit, can it do enough to push them off the core here? Xiao is still alive.
Okay, he shielded the core here for a second, buying a little bit more time. Uther needs to be killed first here, maybe. Because remember, the Avatar is still gonna be up when he dies. I think they may be able to get it, Kailash.
Yeah, I think they're gonna. I think they're gonna get it, and that is gonna be it. It's gonna be 1-1 here. Although they're trying to shield as much, I can't. I think. Oh, ADRD at the very last second, able to keep alive, and the core will fall. So it's 1-1 here in this series between ESC and Gamers2, and the map wins and losses now comes into effect here from ESC. So I'm unsure 100% as to how they approached me first saying that they needed 2-0 to win this. With how things work out in the playoffs, it's very interesting to see how this is going to go. So really, really good comeback there from Gamers2 when they were on the back foot.
Yeah, man, that ending, so sick. Maybe they jumped in there a little bit too early here, the Shen and Zeratul. They could have taken their time a little bit more. It's better, you know, to take your time and maybe see the core take a bit of damage before, you know, starts to take a better fight rather than run right in there, die instantly, and then I guess there is no way to defend the core, but still pretty close in the end. Yeah. I think even if Tyrande died a little bit earlier, the Avatar from Uther was still going to be up for a few seconds, so that core was almost always going to die here.
If it had have survived, though, if
Yeah,
it
they
had
counter and then win.
yeah. So really kind of risky plays coming out for Gamers2. I haven't really seen Gamers2 this challenged. Not even against LDLC, really, when we saw that series where Gamers2 were able to take that 2-0, despite them being really, really good games. So ESC are looking good at the moment. I think we're going to go to a short break here, and then when we're back, we're going to have game number 3 between ESC and Gamers2. Don't go anywhere. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the ESL Major League here. We can get into the bans and picks for game number 3 right away here between ESC and Gamers2. As right now they have just started that bans and pick phase, and we're going to be on Blackheart's Bay, if my little overlay doodah would like to update. But for ESC now, I think the playoff dreams are over. They're speaking to me at least as if it's over, with them losing one map there. So they're going to ban Zeratul right to start things off here on Blackheart's Bay. As Mr. Toddy will be with us in just a little bit. So, let's see what we're going to see here from Gamers2. Obviously now they have a lot of room to actually breathe here. Obviously they're in the playoffs already. They would really like to take this series so they could actually take first place during all of this, because even though they beat LDLC, are in second place right now, all they need to do is take another win, then they will be at 21 points compared to the 18, thanks to the fact that they would have gone undefeated in the tournament so far.
I'm here.
Hello, Todd. Hello.
Hey, what's happening here? Melee Assassins getting hated on, man. Illidan and Zeratul ban.
That was the usual meta bans for this one, and now we've gone back to it here on Blackhearts apparently. So it's up to now Gamers2 to pick the hammer out of one of these two choices, because if they didn't, they'd be crazy. There we go. And then the next pick, maybe ETC or something
Stitches.
like that. Stitches?
I told you, man. Oh no!
I already said ETC. I win. GG. All right. Okay.
Well, I mean, if ESC picks Stitches, they win. No, I mean, Stitches can be really good against Hammer, but if you're very good with Hammer, you will know how to dodge, you know, those hooks. The thing is, it can still negate you very, very well, you know, from setting up with the siege and I guess just sieging and doing damage on buildings.
Yeah. That's true, that's true. Uther as well as Nazebo come out for them, so another really good range damage dealer.
Yeah.
Nazebo is like, that's the tier of range damage dealers. It's Valor, Hammer. They were competing for that first place spot, and then Nazebo is the next tier down. So no surprises for that coming out. They haven't picked their frontliner yet, but because Gamers2 already picked ETC, they have options to not have to take it in those next two picks that they had, because they don't suspect Gamers2 to take two frontliners here.
Stitches is supposed to be less good on Blackout Bay than other maps, so I guess that's why also they haven't picked it, you know, they haven't rushed it. Like if this had been Dragonshire, they would have picked it instantly, and now Gamers2, I guess, since ESC didn't pick Stitches, they say, well, you don't want to pick it, we're gonna pick it ourselves. They go for the double tank comp. Very interesting. I wonder what support they're gonna go for here. I feel like no matter what they pick, they already have a very solid composition. Like, be it, you know, Rhaegar, Malf, or Brightwing.
True, true. If they go for slam build on Stitches as well, there's a really, really scary kind of combination where you get the hook in from Stitches, and then if ETC is in that vicinity at the same time, he power slides in and is able to push them back, and you almost get good kills out of that. So you're not exactly locking someone down, but you're keeping them in vicinity of all your damage, and they do go down very, very fast. So it's a really scary composition.
On ESC, there is already two heroes that don't have any escape, really. That's Nazebo and Uther. So if Gamers2 were to pick Malfurion as last, since they have two tanks at the front, I feel like Malfurion could be a great pick for the route. They can actually hook people into a route. You're going to have ETC zoning people out with the CC that he has, and they already have a Tassadar too. Like, they don't need like a super hard healer. Like with the shield on any of the tanks from the Tassadar, I already feel like Gamers2 composition is going to do great. And like, if you're ESC here, you already have two assassins, you have Uther as well, you're missing tanks. I feel like it's a pretty tough choice. Like, possibly, you know, one tank and one melee assassin, but in melee assassin, two of them have been banned. It's really down to what? Thrall and Kerrigan. So they go for Shen, and then they go for Maz themselves.
Ah, all right. So maybe they were wanting to take it away from the composition here from Gamers2. I mean, I've seen Nebsy actually running Malfurion quite a lot in the past, but of course, with the... Obviously, we have Uther there as well. They're going to have to diversify things up a bit. So that's cool. That's cool to see here from them.
I don't think Gamers2 will mind too much going to Brightwing here.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I mean, it's a big map, right? Brightwing is going to have the opportunity to just teleport around wherever he wants. I mean, personally, they could still go Rhaegar, who is very, very mobile on this map as well. And with two frontliners and the ability to throw down an Ancestral Healing on one of them if they're going to take a lot of damage, it's quite helpful.
Yeah. That's true. I'm guessing also like already having ETC that. Oh, I guess no. Both options are still open. Do you think that Stitches goes for the slam build or the tank build? Because they already have an ETC. I was gonna say slam build, but even if he went for tank build himself, it could be okay.
I think slam build. I do think slam build. I think the frontliner of ETC. I think he's enough with a little bit of support from the Stitches being irritating to hold that front line down. So I think slam build's good. I really do. We'll see as it unfolds though in the game, obviously.
So you call Rhaegar or Brightwing?
They're deliberating that right now. I can sense it in the bones. But I think I'm gonna go Rhaegar. I think Ancestral Healing is very, very important.
Then you leave me no choice but to call Brightwing.
Well, we had to go one way and the other. Sorry, man. I know you enjoy disagreeing with me. It's fine.
And the thing here is, if you go Brightwing, do you go for Hill as ultimate, or do you go for Emerald Wind? And also, I guess, yeah, who do you dedicate your polymorph to? I guess Uther. Sprinting in Uther with a good ultimate could do a lot. I guess, okay. We're never gonna know because it's Rhaegar.
Rhaegar, man. It's time for Rhaegar, one of my favorite heroes in this game. He is so much fun to play. I can't emphasize that enough. He is so much fun to play.
Looking at the comp now, yes, definitely slam build on Stitches because they really only have Hammer to do like most of the damage now, with Tassadar doing a little bit as well. So a slam build will come a long way to help them win this.
And no doubt we're going to see Antihero on Shen once again. We've seen him already play it in the past 2 games. And well, Antihero just said something very interesting in chat, and okay, I will. They're feeding me information, basically.
Tell us.
No, they told me don't spoil it. So apparently we're gonna have something very interesting going on.
Why do you mention it?
Nope.
That's like saying I got a surprise and then never saying it's what.
Just pay full attention to the builds, Todd. Just pay full attention to the builds when we get in the game.
I will.
It's going to be glorious. All right, because at this point, ESC, unfortunately for them, I don't think they can make the playoffs, which is a little bit sad. But now they're still fighting for pride, still fighting for honor here. They've done really well in this series. I can't emphasize that enough, actually. They've done really well. The progression of ESC throughout the tournament has been good. And no doubt we'll see them back for Season 2, whilst Gamers2, I mean, it's Gamers2, man. In my opinion, they're the best team in Europe right now. There's been some sketchy decisions here and there in this series, but usually they are really, really on point and on form.
Well, in terms of drafts, who would you give an advantage to here?
I'm gonna go over to Gamers2 again. I've done it 3 games in a row, almost. The first one didn't go so well, but if they don't have those weird little overextensions, I think they're really, really powerful. Very, very powerful. Their team fighting is super strong. So, yeah, I'm gonna go Gamers2. How about you, man?
I think I would have to agree with you. Like on paper, I don't know. It's hard to say. Like. It's hard to picture 2 comps. Like I don't feel like I have played about 2,000 games of this game, so it's very hard for me to picture every single comp. But I know that if I had to pick one of these 2 comps to play with, I think I would prefer play with like any of the heroes of what Gamers2 have overall.
All right. Well,
that's not to say that they are particularly, have a big lead or an advantage.
Oh, I wish you were here in the studio with me, Todd. I really do. It would be a lot of fun here.
I miss you too.
Heroes. Oh, you. Well, you've already made videos about us in the past day or so, so you've been looking at my stupid face all day, apparently. As we're now loading up onto Blackheart's Bay here for game number 3. Here for our ESL Major League for Heroes of the Storm. It's been an absolute pleasure bringing you a lot of the group stage here, going through things. My game is not loading. Is yours loading, Todd?
No.
Okay.
It's stuck. Okay. It's stuck in the start of the loading bar.
Yeah. So hopefully this does get rectified quite soon. But obviously, not only aside from this cast that we have today, we have still another series to come between Fnatic and Well Met, which is very, very important for that 4th place going into the playoffs. But also we have the playoffs themselves. Actually, I'm pretty sure I can give you the dates for those. It's the 30th, 31st, and 1st. 30th and 31st, I shall be casting with Kaldor. And then on the 1st, I'm pretty sure I'll be casting with you, Todd, for the absolute grand finals.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun, man. You know, actually, it's interesting. In the HCL, I don't know if you know that league. It was organized by AAA, which it was basically the biggest league before major series came around.
Okay.
And it went on for a pretty long time. There was a lot of lineup changes, like team disbanding and all that. And eventually, like Elnexo was doing really well in the league, but
Yeah.
Fnatic didn't actually qualify for the playoffs. And now all of a sudden, Major League starts. Elnexo are the ones, kind of disbanding, dropping out of the league. And this time, Fnatic could very well make it into the. If they don't, like Fnatic, they are actually considered to be very high up there in the top European teams. But they've been struggling a little bit, not making it in HCL and here not being, guaranteed with the playoff spot yet in the Major League. They're going to have to go up against Wellmet, who I think is very strong and has been doing really a lot better than they did in the past as well. So it's going to be very interesting.
Yeah, definitely. The dynamics have changed and swung around a lot in Europe. It's been fluctuating back and forth. El Nexo have found themselves a little bit more stability now with Black Scorp and who else was actually added to their team? It was Falcon, right? So Falcon added to their team as well. And actually, El Nexo might even just come back stronger than ever with people like Black Scorp and Falcon on their roster now. We are just still waiting for this to load. I think the teams are also having a few problems with it loading as well. They've just mentioned in the Skype group. So I think we're all going to leave this game and then get back in. So I do apologize for the small issues that we have at the moment. Oh, it just started loading for me.
Oh, God, please. I pressed Alt F4. The game
right.
didn't close.
That's so funny. As soon as you leave, it starts loading.
No, I didn't leave. Oh, no, the game closed.
All right.
I pressed Alt F4 and then the game didn't close. And then it started loading.
Oh, really?
This is ridiculous. I saw the progress bar start.
Wait,
can I not rejoin as a spectator?
He can't rejoin. Okay. No. I think we're just going to leave. And then I shall also press Alt F4. It's done. If I'm doing it...
We're going down together!
Yeah.
oh, no, I can rejoin, I think. It says rejoin.
Wait, what? Really? I don't know what we're doing. I've closed it.
Rejoin too, James.
All is leaving. In the Skype group, all is leaving.
Okay. I'm going to rejoin just for the sake of finding out if you can rejoin or not.
What? Okay, then. All right. So we need to load back up the game. There was something else I was going to mention, actually. Whilst I look at Skype, because we actually had a small announcement to make as well regarding Season 2. The new qualifiers for the Major League are opening pretty soon. Let me just confirm this. Whilst the game is opening again. All right, cool. So actually, we can pull this up on my screen whilst we're waiting for the game to load up. So... production back into there we go. Oh god, you're so good. You're so awesome, production. All right, so Hero League, the Major League even starts once again. It's with Season 2, obviously. So as you can see here on the page at the moment, it starts on April the 1st. So if you have a team out there, if you want to try and qualify for the next Major Leagues coming up, make sure to head over here. And actually, I'm going to press F11 so you can see the link as well up to the top. So you can go over here and try your luck and get into the Major League as well. That would be very awesome. So the Open League does feed into the Major League. All right, so let's see now if we can actually get back into this game. Oh, I've clicked rejoin. Are we all really going to rejoin?
Because we when do the game actually close until we can reopen one?
That's a really good point, actually.
I think they just want to all leave and then remake a new game. I think if everybody leaves, then the game kind of disintegrates or something, disappears. But there is always this one guy rejoining, and right now it's you and me.
Yeah, exactly.
So the game's not disintegrating because of that.
All right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go to a short break. This is a bit more of a sad break, unfortunately, because we really can't do a whole lot about this, and we can't just sit here all the time talking whilst we try and figure this out. So what we're going to do is, guys, we're going to go to a short break, and then when we're back, we are definitely 100%, 110%, you can't even have that, going to go to ESC versus Gamers2. Don't go anywhere.